So we just got a pretty big news update about upcoming content and as well as a response to the surveys that the developers received for SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. What's up everybody, Fortexfiend here, and welcome back to another video on SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the news and the updates and also their responses in regards to the surveys that we have done so far for this game. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it here. Okay, we're going to go to notices. And right over there, we see the June update for G Eternal. I'm going to scroll down a little bit because I did breeze through this just a little bit before making this video. And I know they did mention some of the events that are currently live right now. Okay, so this is where we want to start. So I did make a video on this about this map event that's going to be coming out. And it looks like it's going to be catered towards Gundam Wing and also Mobile Suit Gundam Z. But Wing is the one that they really focused on, especially with the free Catra that they're giving out. So the new map event, the highlight for this is that in terms of like the boost items that we get from the stages, it's also going to be requiring PP points. I don't know what PP stands for. You guys tell me what you think it stands for. Don't have a dirty mind. But it looks like that we're going to be using those to be able to battle, boost our forces, and also acquire rewards. And right over here, one of the things that I also want to highlight, it says right here, fully replenishing your PP can take up to 2 days. I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep chuckling every time I say that. But it looks like we're going to have another source of, like, I guess a stamina system or AP system for this, and it can take up to 2 days to fully replenish. So they're asking us to encourage us, or they're encouraging us to play this as much as possible. And it says here that the maximum amount of PP has a high limit. So that is pretty much going to be the details that they're revealing here more about this map event 1. And again, we already know about this, which is the event rewards, which is going to be a character and a supporter. It is going to be the SSR supporter Catra and the SSR Dr. J and Peace Million warship. So that stuff we know. We also know that they've been adding in these limited tracks, which are pretty cool. They've added some for G-Quux and also the winner from Stardust Memory. Hopefully they start doing this more because I would like to hear more of the tracks from the respective animes that they pull from these events. So that's pretty cool right there. And then afterwards right here is going to be the future plan. So we know the map event is coming out on June 16th. And then they're going to be adding main stages for Gundam Seed Destiny. So much Gundam Seed love right now. And it says here, and more. So we don't know what that is, but, you know, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe it could be a Gundam 00. Maybe it could be another series. G Gundam even. I know there's a lot of popular series that we've been requesting, we've been wanting to see. So it could be anything, but you guys let me know what you think. And then at the end of June or late June, there's going to be that live stream. And I will be trying to watch that. And I will be having a summarized video for that. So they're going to give us kind of like a roadmap again, letting us know what's going to be coming out for the next few months, especially for summer. I'm pretty sure they got some pretty good things planned for us, but that's going to be something to note right there. And then they also mentioned the Thunderbolt December Sky event, and it looks like it was postponed. So the release of the story event for Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt December Sky has been postponed to mid-July. So it's interesting because when they first made that developer tease on their official X account before this game actually launched, they shared that Thunderbolt was going to be part of the first 3 months of events. And we're already on the 3rd month technically because the game came out in April, and then we have May, and then we're now in June, which is the 3rd month. But it looks like they postponed that. I'm not sure if it's because they released they teased this map event, so maybe that might be taking its place. But it looks like we're still going to get that story event, but it was pushed to mid-July. Okay, so they also are going to be giving us, it looks like we're going to be getting some sort of like diamonds or something for the feedback that we gave for the survey. And then they also are addressing specific things that we, let them know about in the survey about the Master League Season 0, which is like the PvP event. So some of the things that were addressed is the player AI is stressful. During development, there should be ways for units other than UR to play an active role. There's a huge difference between strength in matchmaking, which we did notice that, especially for those of you that are free to play. And then it's difficult to upgrade units fast enough during event period. Therefore, it's hard to obtain a high score. And then if you reach 150,000 points early on, which currently right now is the goal, there's nothing else to do other than just push your score higher for bragging rights. So they're going to be, so right over here, they literally explain everything about these different topics. So in terms of the player AI stressful, they say here, we received a wide range of feedback regarding AI. And one of the ones is that the weapons that can destroy the enemy are activated, but it is stressful seeing weapons that cannot destroy the enemy being selected. So pretty much what this entails is that a lot of us were frustrated with the AI because it could have selected the most powerful weapon skill to be able to destroy an enemy target, but instead it would choose something else. And we've seen this happen during Master League Season 0 a lot, and I know that many players are frustrated because there were matches that they could have won, but they didn't because the AI would select something else, which was very, very frustrating to watch. So they specifically plan to implement the following. Even on auto, the weapon that could deal the most damage is preferably selected. So that's good news that they did address this, and it looks like they're going to be implementing a fix. When they're going to do that, I'm not sure, but hopefully sooner rather than later. And then during development, there should be ways for other units, for units other than UR units to play an active role. And then 3, there is a huge difference between strength and matchmaking. So their answer to that is, we receive much feedback asking for adjustments regarding the strength difference in matchmaking and for ways to form teams creatively regardless of the strength of the unit. In order to implement adjustments that will satisfy all users, we kindly ask for some time to consider adjustments regarding this matter. So they're not able to make changes to this immediately, but they're working on it, it seems like, to make it more like an even playing field. And they also said, furthermore, we recognize that the upgrade tags in Season 0 were tagged mostly on protagonist and rival, which included many UR units. In response to this, from the event, we'll be adding more tags, which will be mentioned later. So it looks like they're going to be adding more tags to that and more ways and flexibility for us to create other teams to be able to have more of an even playing field, at least for free to play. Now, of course, if you're up against like a super whale or even like, a moderate spender, they're still going to have the advantage, but at least this is good that they're addressing this. And then number 4, it's difficult to upgrade units fast enough during the event period, therefore it's hard to obtain a high score. Their response was, we received many feedback regarding the difficulty to upgrade units and to obtain a high score during the event period. Taking the playstyle of users into account, it looks like they're going to be implementing campaigns that will make it easier to upgrade units for future events. So this is a good sign that they're going to be giving us more campaigns, maybe like more ways to earn like different materials, maybe increasing the daily limit for those upgrade stages to just 5 or even more than that, because having that as a campaign, I think it's a little silly that they restricted to 3. So I think there's going to be different ways to be able to do that. It looks like they're going to be implementing that, which is great for all of us. And then if you reach 150,000 points early on, there's nothing else to do. So the feedback from that is, therefore, after the arrival of Master League, we plan to implement a new challenge mode for players who have reached 150k points during the event. And as you can see right here, it looks like if you reach like higher than 150k, and it shows right there as an example, like 200,000, you're going to get even more awesome titles. So I like how they're tying this to like something cosmetic, because if they tied like, let's say, a unit to this, or a pilot or a support or a warship that you can only get this way, then that would definitely create a bit more of a pay-to-win aspect. I mean, PvP in itself is always going to have a pay-to-win aspect, but I like how they tie it more to something cosmetic. So it's more of a bragging right for these challenges. And I know that, some of you high spenders, you definitely want to try to push your party to have a higher score. So this is definitely going to be a treat for those of us, who really want to push ourselves during this PvP event. And it says right here, in the challenge mode, players will be able to earn exclusive titles by achieving new high scores during the event period. Aside from titles, rewards will be the same as reaching 150k. So even if you hit above 150k, you get those exclusive titles. All the other rewards will be the same. And it looks like right over here, they're showing how you could, potentially earn those high scores. So if you change your opponent after a win, since each subsequent opponent will be stronger than the previous one. So let's say you've already beaten one and you're like, you know what? I want something a little bit more challenging. You change that opponent out, you're going to get someone even stronger than that, which gives you a chance to potentially increase your score. And then right over here, they also say, we plan on increasing the number of times you could change an opponent in the same day from 3 to 5. So it allows us a bit more flexibility, a bit more chances to be able to challenge these harder opponents. So that way we have a better chance of getting those higher scores for those of us that want that challenge. So thanks to the above, we hope to give all players who manage to reach 150k points an experience which will lead to an even more entertaining Master League. And regarding the next season, this is pretty interesting, and I'm going to have a separate video on this once I do a little bit more research about what units you could use to prepare ahead of time. But the stage is going to be ground, primarily. It looks like it's going to be ground, and the boost is going to be UC Series and Tough as Nails. So UC Series, there's a ton of units that we could use for this. And then Tough as Nails, there's some pretty solid units there as well. That's going to be that's going to be interesting for season 1, that they're going to be doing ground and Tough as Nails and UC series. And it looks like from here, season 1 will start around late June. And then as previously spoiled, in the new season, the number of boosted tags will increase, and units with the UC series and the Tough as Nails. Oh, so they're going to join the ones bearing the protagonist and rival tags. So I wonder if this means if protagonist and rival will still have the boost, but then they're also throwing in UC series and Tough as Nails. That's going to be very interesting. I do wish they added in some of the more like lesser use tags, like for example, large machine or even test type. I think that would have made things a bit more interesting, but this is what I'm getting from this. So, but if you guys think that, I'm incorrect on that, or maybe like I interpreted it differently, let me know in the comment section below. But it looks like they're going to be adding more tags on top of protagonist and rival. And then regarding the future updates, with the update to version 1.2, we plan to implement several changes from new features to major tweaks along with a map event. So there's going to be additional auto form feature. We will add another feature for auto form by choosing specific supporters. Players will be able to auto form a formation whose members will be boosted by the supporter's leader skill. So that's a pretty good functionality that they're going to be adding. They're going to add improved search by keyword and sort features. We will tweak the search by keyword and sort features for every screen. Details are as follows. The upgrade screen has been changed to allow direct keyword searching. So that's pretty cool. The keyword search function has been added to the filter by series and filter by tag. Very, very useful for convenience. The keyword search function for the home screen unit has been added. And then also for the home screen unit filter and sort by criteria has been added as well. So it's going to be easier to be able to like formulate what you want to do with your party, how you want to build it by adding these, quality of life improvements, which is great. They're also going to be improving character requests. So in response to the player feedback regarding the capture request and the methods of obtaining SP conversion chips, we plan to make the following improvements. With this improvement, you will be able to obtain 20 SP conversion chips every week. This is awesome because it allows us the opportunity to SP convert some of those units that are our favorites. For example, like SR Shining Gundam or even SR Freedom Gundam. Some of the ones that we really, really like that aren't necessarily as strong as like URs, but we can use these SP conversion chips, get them to level 100 and get them, to a pretty decent power level and make them more usable. So that way the game is more enjoyable using our favorites. So that's really, really cool that they're adding this. They said the number of diamonds available and number of requests required to obtain all weekly rewards will be remaining the same. So that 200 diamonds that we get is still going to be the same. They're also going to be adding in request rank 6, where previously no capture request would occur. So upon clearing the special request in rank 5, requests for rank 6 will appear. In rank 6, the following requests will appear. Upgrade a unit from a specific series 5 times, develop a unit from a specific series 3 times, transfer a specific unit, SR Gundam, for example, etc., and then transfer 10,000 capital. And then they're going to be adding the SP conversion chips to weekly rewards. So after the update, after you complete 5, you get 150 diamonds, which is great. After you complete 10, you get 200 diamonds. And then after you complete 15, you get 20 chips. So that's kind of... Okay, no, so the diamonds looks like they're the same. Okay, so we're going to get the same amount of diamonds, but instead, when you complete the 15, the final reward is the SP conversion chips. Based on feedback, they're going to be adding in more high difficulty content. So they're going to be introducing more Eternal Roads at a faster pace, giving us, more end goals to complete and, work towards, and also more challenging missions based on the player's playing behavior. So it looks like more feedback was given on, hey, let's get some more hard content out of there. And let's see what else. I think that's it. So this is it for the, big news, massive updates that are going to be coming. So they do hear us, guys. They definitely do hear us. I do like how they're being transparent about specific things, and they're taking our feedback and they're taking it seriously. I do still think there is a bit of a dry spell of content. And again, I do have a video that I'll be releasing this week in regards to like suggestions that, my Discord and I discussed that I think would be definitely great for this game's success, because, we love this game. I definitely love this game. I want it to succeed. We are pretty much over the honeymoon period for the game now. So, it is starting to show a little bit of its, its issues, but, we definitely came up with some feedback that we want to give them. So I will have a video on that. But let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts and opinions are so far on this announcement of like a plethora of information updates, improvements, and things like that. I think it's good, again, that they're listening to us, but I want to hear from you guys what you guys think. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.